Hey everyone! ChatGPT Taylor aka Taylor here. Welcome back to the channel. Today will be a continuation of the If the Disventure Camp cast were series. This series takes a look at what would happen if the characters from Disventure Camp were put into a much different situation. Last time, I took a look at what would happen if the Disventure Camp cast were on an American football team. This video will look at something different. If there are any ideas for this series that you would like to see me play out, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And with that, let's get started. Before I begin, make sure to like and subscribe if this video is to your liking, and make sure to comment down below if there's anything that you would like to see going forward. Today's topic is something that I brought up in the first video in this series, and I finally decided to give it a shot. Today's topic is: what if the Disventure Camp cast were in the Hunger Games? For those that don't know, the Hunger Games began as a book series by author Susan Collins. The series is set in a post-apocalyptic setting, where citizens live in 12 different districts, distinguished by their most abundant resources and relative wealth. Every year, the government hosts what's known as the Hunger Games, where 24 individuals between the ages of 12 and 18 are selected by a lottery to fight to the death in an outdoor arena. These 24 individuals consist of one boy and one girl for each of the 12 districts. The last person standing each year is declared to be the winner of the Hunger Games and is promised wealth and prosperity as a reward. Since its release, the Hunger Games series has increased in popularity to the point that there are online simulators that allow you to simulate an entire Hunger Games series with a custom list of characters. The existence of these simulators is what motivated me to pursue this video idea. I've seen a few of these kinds of videos online, and most of them use the Hunger Games simulator on the Brand Steel website. But for this simulation, I'm going to use the Hunger Games simulator on the Agmashua website, purely because it's easier for me to upload custom photos onto the Agmashua website. I ran some sample simulations before I started filming, and there doesn't seem to be a significant difference between the two simulators, so I decided to stick with the Agmashua website. But this isn't an advertisement for the simulator, so use whichever one makes you the most happy. And before I begin, I want to say that this video will be a little bit different from my other videos. Usually I write out a script for my videos so I can plan out exactly what I want to say. But in this video, I'll be reacting to every event that happens in the simulator. Of course, reacting can be a little difficult because I use an AI voice to record my videos, so I can't give my real-time reactions to the events. So what I'm going to do is record my reaction in real time using my phone, and then put my reactions into an AI voice by changing the emotion of the AI voice to fit my actual reactions. So for the rest of this video, I will be using a different AI voice that will allow me to showcase different emotions as appropriate for my reaction. And with that, let's get started.
Hi, everyone. Yes, I'm still Taylor. I just have a different voice. But now it's time to set up the simulation. Usually, Hunger Games competitions consist of 24 competitors, who are referred to as tributes. But for this simulation, I'll be including 34 competitors. These will be the 28 campers, and the 6 staff members: Crystal, Derek, Trevor, Nina, Marcus, and Emily. I just figured that it would make the competition a little more interesting if the staff members were included as well. I divided the campers into districts, with 2 characters in each district. And I tried to pick photos that show the campers in a state of aggression, just to get them in the mindset of having to face the brutality of the Hunger Games. I also tried pairing them in districts according to their existing relationships. I couldn't get a good fit for everyone, but I tried my best. I also added in a few custom events as an homage to certain events that happened in the Disventure Camp series. This includes eating a poisonous mushroom, in an homage to Season 2 Episode 5. Finding a spider and keeping it as a pet, in an homage to Season 2 Episode 9. Receiving a fresh cheesecake from a sponsor, which was referenced throughout Season 1. And receiving a swimsuit from a sponsor, because you know. Fan service. Again, even though I am simulating the games myself, I do not know what will happen in this edition of the games. The only difference between this video and a typical reaction video is that my reactions are uploaded into an AI voice generator. I have no clue who will win. But just for laughs, I'm going to guess that Nina wins. Because come on. Nina would probably win if this happened for real. And one more thing. I'm not going to include every single event that happens. I'll probably just include all of the deaths and some funny events that happen along the way. And with that, let's get started. Alright everyone. Let's begin. The Bloodbath. Trevor sets an explosive off, killing Tess and Derek? Well, considering the recent video that circulated, I'm not surprised that Tess is dead. I'm really surprised that Derek is dead though, but I guess Trevor wants that hosting job all to himself. Yul finds a bag full of explosives. He will most certainly use them. Drew and Ellie fight for a bag. Ellie gives up and retreats. There you go, Drew! Establishing dominance. Hunter retrieves a trident. I'm sure he'll find a way to use it. Marcus finds a bow, some arrows, and a quiver. Time to channel your inner Katniss Everdeen. Tom grabs a shovel. Hopefully he won't use it to dig himself into a deeper hole with the fanbase. Kai runs into the cornucopia and hides. Makes sense. He probably doesn't want to kill anyone right away. Dan finds a backpack full of camping equipment. Makes sense. Allie snatches a bottle of alcohol and a rag. Mildly scary. Oliver snatches a pair of sais. Looks like Oliver is going on the offensive today. Alec and Nina fight for a bag. Nina gives up and retreats. Don't worry. Clearly, this is all a part of Nina's plan. She just wants to give Alec a false sense of security. If she wanted to, she could have taken that bag from him. Rhea grabs a backpack, not realizing it is empty. Well, add that to the list of stupid moves that Rhea has made. Miriam, Gret, and Emily work together to get as many supplies as possible. Girl power over here. Nick grabs a shovel. Nothing special. Maggie, Gabby, Rosa, and Ashley share everything they gathered before running. This could actually be a reasonable alliance. Jake finds a canteen full of water. I guess James was right after all.
#thirsty.
James finds a canteen full of water. I guess he's also.
#thirsty.
Crystal accidentally shoots herself with a tranquilizer dart and is knocked out for the next few hours. To be fair, with my luck, I'd probably end up doing the same thing. Will grabs a shovel. Nothing special. Aiden finds a backpack full of camping equipment. Maybe he'll team up with Dan later on. Connor and Lake fight for a bag. Lake gives up and retreats. Come on, Lake! Stand your ground! Fiore runs away from the cornucopia. That's smart. As she would probably say, she can't beat these ogres. Lil grabs a shovel and Carol stays at the cornucopia for resources. Hopefully she doesn't run into Kai. Let's continue with day 1. Day 1. Will and Alec track down and kill Tom? Okay, interesting. Tom is a big physical threat, so I don't blame them. No! Drew dies from hypothermia. Come on. I was hoping that Drew would last longer. Ashley makes a wooden spear. I'm sure she's done that before. Crystal goes hunting. I guess the tranquilizer dart didn't hurt her. Rosa, Nina, James, and Maggie hunt for other tributes. Interesting alliance. Rhea travels to higher ground. I guess it makes sense, considering how she's used to putting herself on a pedestal above others. Jake begs for Ellie to kill him. She refuses, keeping Jake alive. Considering their current relationship, I actually don't think Ellie would refuse. Kai attacks Hunter, but he manages to escape. You have to be careful when attacking Hunter. If you take the shot, you have to hit. Allie tends to Trevor's wounds. Well, I'm sure that silly Billy is happy about that. Gret begs for Oliver to kill her. He refuses, keeping Gret alive. See? Oliver is a nice guy. He has mercy. Connor and Carol work together for the day. I suppose the older people in the competition have to stick together. Nick steals Lil's perfume bottle when she isn't looking. I guess I can see that happening. Miriam stalks Gabby. I don't know about that. That's a dangerous game you're playing, Miriam. And Lake defeats Emily in a fight, but spares her life. Very merciful. But of course, now night falls. Time for night 1. Wow! Maggie sets an explosive off, killing Lil and Fiore. That's a big move to take out one of the biggest villains in the competition. It's a shame that Fiore didn't make a bigger impact, though. Yul and Nina tell stories about themselves to each other. I don't think Yul would trust Nina enough to open up, but sure. Ashley cooks her food before putting her fire out. Ashley's playing it smart. Crystal tends to her wounds. Probably from the tranquilizer dart. Jake and Rosa sleep in shifts. I guess Rosa doesn't mind Jake all that much. Will climbs a tree to rest. Hopefully he's not afraid of heights. Carol, Aiden, Connor, and Hunter sleep in shifts. This is a decent alliance. Oliver tries to sing himself to sleep. Aw, this would actually be sad if it happened. Trevor, James, Ellie, and Gabby sleep in shifts. Okay, that's cool. Gret and Dan hold hands? I don't know about that one. I don't think Gret would do that. Yeah, I can see that happening. Nick finds a spider and key. Okay, I don't believe that. That's not likely. But it is kind of funny how two completely different people end up finding spiders. Lake goes to sleep. That's fair. In a competition like this, sleep is important. And it looks like Alec also found a spider. Time for him to join the Pet Spider Owners Club. And Marcus tends to his wounds. Tender way to end the night. But of course, we must bid farewell to those who were not fortunate to survive the first day. Mostly fan favorites. I'm surprised that Drew and Fiore didn't last a little longer, but oh well. Let's move on. Let's see if day 2 is different. No! Gret dies from an infection. I guess holding hands with Dan was not a great idea. No! Oliver falls into a pit and dies? Man, day 2 is not starting off well. Jake makes a wooden spear. I suppose he's taking tips from Ashley. Marcus and Kai work together for the day. Interesting alliance. Carol overhears Gabby and Ellie talking in the distance. This is actually a very realistic thing that can happen. Miriam searches for a water source. She's definitely taking the practical approach. Aiden chases Nick. I don't know if Aiden's fast enough to catch him, but oh well. Allie, Connor, Emily, and Rhea raid Nina's camp while she is hunting. See? They all know that they need to work together if they want any chance at beating Nina. Rosa, Maggie, and James hop onto a log and slide down the mountain. That's kind of funny since the 3 of them weren't a part of that challenge. Lake receives a fresh cheesecake from an unknown sponsor. Nice job, Lake! Cheesecake is very tasty. Trevor receives fresh water from an unknown sponsor. Probably from a network executive or something. And it looks like Alec found another spider to keep as a pet. Good for him. And that brings an end to the day. Let's head into the night. Night 2. Let's go. Wow! Crystal kills Alec with a sickle. I guess Crystal was like, Alec, that's one pet spider too many. You have to go. Bye. Ashley stabs Emily with a tree branch. I guess Ashley is resourceful enough to do that. Sorry, Emily. It was nice knowing you. Gabby and Trevor run into each other and decide to truce for the night. For Trevor's safety, I think he knows that he needs to call a truce or else he might not wake up in the morning. Dan accidentally shoots himself with a tranquilizer dart. I guess he learned nothing from Crystal's mistake. Will destroys Nina's supplies while she's asleep. See? Everyone knows that they need to sabotage Nina at every possible opportunity in order to beat her. Rosa, Kai, Hunter, James, and Ellie sleep in shifts. Good strategy, but I don't know if they trust each other enough to make this work. Nick and Yul sleep in shifts. I don't think either of them trust the other person enough to do this, but sure. Carol destroys Lake's supplies while she is asleep. I don't know if Carol hates Lake, but she did vote her out in season 2, so I guess this is fine. Rhea quietly hums. Rhea's been alone for the most part. Maybe it'll work out for her. And Aiden quietly hums. Let's not tell him that he and Rhea are doing the same thing. He probably won't like that. Let's just move on. But of course, we must bid farewell to those who perished. Only 4 died today, but we're far from over. Let's continue. Wow! Dan kills Gabby as she tries to run. I guess Dan gets the last laugh after Gabby blindsided him in season 1. Kai shoots an arrow into Rosa's head? Geez, Kai. You're going on the offensive here. Kai could win this whole thing. Nick stuffs a bundle of dry clothing into a backpack before sprinting away. I bet one of those articles of clothing is a new jacket. Carol sobs while gripping a photo of her friends and family. Aw, and it looks like Aiden's going through the same thing. Maybe the 2 of them can comfort each other. Miriam destroys Hunter's memoirs out of spite. I don't know if Miriam would go that far, but maybe she says something like, Allie deserves better than you, before smashing his memoirs. Rhea and Ashley get into a fight over raw meat, but Ashley gives up and runs away. I find that hard to believe. I think Ashley would easily be able to overpower Rhea if she wanted to. Nina sobs while gripping a photo of her friends and family. I wonder who Nina's family is. Is they also a bunch of sentient puppets? Maggie steals Jake's memoirs. Alright, add Maggie to the list of people who don't like Jake. Ellie takes a staff leaning against the cornucopia. Good idea. She knows that with Gabby dead, she needs to be on her A game. Allie and Will get into a fight over raw meat, but Will gives up and retreats. Hopefully Will doesn't regret that decision as we continue with day 3. And it looks like he won't regret it. Jake is unable to convince Will to not kill him. Looks like Will is stepping up. And Marcus dies of hunger? I'm pretty sure Marcus got some food from the feast, so that doesn't make sense. I guess he didn't eat it in time. Kai discovers a cave. He'll probably make a home out of it. And speaking of home, Crystal thinks about home. I'm sure she would rather be home right now. Maggie, Ashley, Nina, and Allie hunt for other tributes. The 3 campers are playing a dangerous game by trusting Nina, I'm telling you. Hunter and Miriam split up to search for resources. Probably for the best considering Miriam destroyed Hunter's memoirs at the feast. Ellie discovers a cave. Hey! Maybe it's the same one that Kai found. Rhea finds a spider and keeps it as a pet. Maybe she'll follow Aiden's lead and use it for sabotage. James makes a slingshot. This is mildly amusing for me considering that James was the only camper of the final 4 of Season 2 who didn't compete in the slingshot challenge. Kinda funny. Connor, Aiden, Nick, and Trevor hunt for other tributes. It looks like we have a boys' alliance over here. And Lake receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. Come on, Lake! We're about to head into nightfall. Time to make a move. Night 3. Let's see who falls. Ashley kills Allie while she is sleeping. Oh. Ashley taking no prisoners. Maggie sets an explosive off, killing Carol. It looks like Maggie is going on the offensive too. Kai is awoken by nightmares. Probably because he's killed people even though he's not an aggressive person. Aiden, Will, and Nina cheerfully sing songs together. Considering Aiden's relationship with Nina, I don't know how good that will go. Rhea tries to treat her infection. Wow. It's not looking good for Rhea. Hunter convinces Crystal to snuggle with him. Seriously, Hunter? You already had Allie and Tess falling for you. Stay away from Crystal. James stays awake all night. Not sure if that will work out for him. Dan and Yul huddle for warmth. Not sure of how likely that is. And Ellie and Miriam talk about the tributes still alive. I can imagine this happening, unless Ellie still harbors resentment for Miriam tricking her in the Season 1 finale. Let's see if there is any lingering resentment as we head into day 3. But once again, we bid farewell to the 6 campers who left us. For those of you who are having trouble keeping track of who's left, don't worry. I also had trouble keeping track. The remaining tributes are Ashley, Maggie, Kai, Aiden, Will, Nina, Rhea, Hunter, Nick, Lake, Trevor, James, Dan, Yul, Connor, Ellie, and Miriam. That's 16 left. Let's see who falls next. Day 4, let's go. Miriam throws a knife into James's chest. I guess Miriam is putting her canonical knife-throwing skills to use. Maggie kills Nick for his supplies. Okay, it's official. Maggie has gone over the deep end. She could actually win this. Lake receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Looks like the sponsors are on Lake's side today. Hunter receives a bunny suit from an unknown sponsor. Maybe he'll wear it in honor of Allie. Kai stalks Trevor. To be fair, Kai and Trevor probably haven't met before, so Kai probably wants to learn more about him. Nina diverts Rhea's attention and runs away. See? Nina is very capable of manipulating others. Will, Ashley, Connor, and Ellie hunt for other tributes. Reasonable alliance. And Crystal injures herself. Uh-oh. Hopefully she'll be more lucky when night falls. Night 4. Let's go. Rhea falls into a frozen lake and drowns. Well, some people say that Rhea is cold-hearted, so I guess this is fitting. Lake and Kai fight Ashley and Dan. This is an interesting fight. I think it's pretty even. It's unfortunate that Lake and Kai got the bad end of it, though. Connor goes to sleep. Honestly, with everyone killing each other, I could use a nap too. Crystal tends to her wounds. Another injury, another medical session. Yul fends Aiden, Nina, and Hunter away from his fire. Yeah, Yul probably doesn't want anyone near him. Miriam thinks about winning. Miriam could actually win this. And Maggie is awoken by nightmares. With all the murders taking place, I'm not surprised. Hopefully she'll be okay, tomorrow. 5 more tributes are down. 13 tributes are left. My winner pick is still in the game. Come on, Nina. You can do it. It looks like it's time for another feast. Dan sets an explosive off, killing Trevor and Aiden. Wow. Dan is starting to make a name for himself. Nina, Connor, and Yul confront each other, but grab what they want slowly to avoid conflict. Connor and Yul are playing it smart. They know not to mess with Nina. Miriam, Ashley, Will, and Hunter team up to grab food, supplies, weapons, and memoirs. At least some people are being civil. Maggie gathers as much food into a bag as she can before fleeing. Going back into survival mode. Ellie takes a staff. Didn't she already have one? And Crystal gathers food as well. Hopefully this will help her survive the remainder of the Hunger Games. Let's move on to day 5. Will severely injures Crystal, but puts her out of her misery. I guess the extra food didn't help. Bye, Crystal. Yul dies trying to escape the arena. I get it. I'm sure he didn't want anything more to do with this. Hunter receives medical supplies. I think Crystal could have used those earlier. Nina makes a wooden spear. Not surprised. Miriam runs away from Maggie. Considering Maggie's killing streak, I don't blame Miriam for running. Dan chases Ellie. Not sure if Dan can catch her, though. Ashley sees smoke rising in the distance, but decides not to investigate. Smart play, Ashley. And Connor receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. I don't think Connor would want to use it, but let's see if he does as we head into nightfall. Night 5. Let's go. Maggie and will fight Dan and Connor. Maggie and will survive. Maggie and will have been going on a tear this time. Good for them. Ellie and Hunter tell stories about themselves to each other. I'm sure they have a lot of stories. Ashley accidentally shoots herself with a tranquilizer dart. Hopefully no one kills her. Miriam tries to treat her infection. This might be the end for Miriam. And Nina loses sight of where she is. I'm sure she'll be fine. She's still my pick to win as we head into day 7. Of course, we must bid farewell to the 6 tributes who did not survive. I think we're down to 7 tributes. The end is near. Let's continue. Wow! Miriam stabs Maggie in the back with a trident. I guess Miriam is the one to end Maggie's killing streak. Wow! My winner pick! Hunter convinces Nina to not kill him, only to kill her instead? You were so close to the end, Nina! Come on! Ellie receives a hatchet, Ashley goes hunting, and Will fishes. Looks like the couple of Ashley and Will are still in, but at some point, they will have to be split up. Let's see if it happens right away. Looks like I jinxed it. Ashley falls into a frozen lake and drowns. Suffers the same fate as Rhea, unfortunately. And look at this! Ellie attacks Miriam, but Will protects her, killing Ellie. Ellie tried to get her revenge, but it backfired. Bye, Ellie. And Hunter climbs a tree to rest. We're down to the final 3. Miriam, Will, and Hunter. It should be interesting as we head into the day 7. 4 more tributes lost their lives, only 2 more to go until we have our winner. Let's keep going. Oh gosh! Hunter severely slices Miriam with a sword? That's brutal. We're down to 2. I guess it's up to Will to take down Hunter. And, scratch that plan. Will accidentally steps on a landmine. But that doesn't mean he's dead, right? Nope, he's dead. He's very dead. So that means Hunter is the winner of the Disventure Camp Hunger Games. This may not be popular with the viewers, but at least he finally won a competition without the hosts gifting him the win. And that about does it for this video. What did you think of the video? Are you happy with who won? Who were you rooting for to win? Do you think this style of video works? Either way, please let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like the video, click subscribe if you really like the video, and for some ending words of wisdom. Not everything is a simulation. So be aware of your own actions, because they could have serious consequences. Thank you, and farewell.